Another question on ADA compliance and how that impacts design. Does anybody here want to speak to that as far as the Americans with Disabilities Act?
Ooh, nice tax credit if you take a non-ADA restroom and make it ADA compliant.
There you go.
Found that out in the Seneca store.
There you go.
Yeah. It amazes me how many people come into our stores that are wheelchairs, canes, walkers. We have zero entry from the parking lot into the store. We have automatic doors. So everything is as ADA compliant as it possibly can be. Keep in mind, top load washers are not ADA compliant. There's a certain height that the door has to be for, and the controls for front load washers and for the bottom pocket dryers. Single pocket dryers are not ADA compliant. You'll have to read up on those to see what height those need to be. So typically in our store, I mean, we have Speed Queen washers on their 6-inch basis, I think. The 20-pound washers are ADA compliant, and the bottom pocket dryers on stacks are ADA compliant. So somebody in a wheelchair, think from the customer, somebody in a wheelchair can use those. And we do have people in wheelchairs come in and use them. They are fiercely independent and do not want any help. So, okay. There's my thoughts.
Yeah, and
Very
make
good.
sure, I mean, the tax credit's great. Make sure you're ADA compliant in certain markets. I mean, parking lots included, certain states and municipalities have different, you have to have X number of handicap spots for every 10 parkings. Make sure you follow that, because there are some lawyers who will throw enough stuff against the wall and see what sticks. And I've had that happen several times. So you get a lawsuit. Oh, my client came in your store and there was not a grab bar on the bathroom. So, we're going to sue you, or you can give us $5,000. And it's a racket, but it is what it is. And so be careful of that. Make sure you're as compliant as possible.
And on new builds, the zoning planning and zoning department will review those plans and ensure that they will tell you how many handicap spaces you will have and where they will be. And and before you get signed off, you'll make sure you got the grab bars in and stuff. But
I was going to say too. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Josh.
I was going to say something that I didn't think about on my last couple of stores, and thank goodness my equipment rep told me. Like, we have in-wall kiosks, and I'm sort of like, okay, let's just make it work good anyway. No, ADA fix that. So if you walk in, it feels like our kiosks are a little low, but it's because they know they're ADA. But yeah, just make sure you don't. I'd say if you're, especially if you're putting in new equipment or new build. Yeah, I mean, if your equipment rep is worth his salt, then I mean, they should know all this to help on everything. But yeah, go back to the Karen. So yeah, I always put single pockets as well as stacks. So yeah, that way, no matter what height you are, you're good. And then and so anyway, but yeah. So most time you have zoning laws, and your equipment rep should help you make sure that's all good. But don't just trust them. Always do the research yourself.
And where would you suggest people go for ADA compliance, the guidance beyond their distributor?
There's a government website. Is it ada.gov? I haven't looked at it in a year, so I can Google it. But yeah, I mean, if you have trouble sleeping at night, that site will put you right to sleep. So yeah, do that.
Yeah, that's what we did, is we went and got the measurements off of that.
Yeah, so. I will say, and even I know, and also know states are different. I didn't know when I built my last store, I opened up this last year. Even the mirror in the bathroom had to be tilted. So I guess because I mean, I'm always just put a plate glass on on the wall. But for new builds, there's actually luckily it was on Amazon, so I ordered my grab bars for the bathroom. I had to get the tilted window. It was a box that had a certain degree tilt. So things like that I would have never known about. That yeah, some crooked lawyer would try to come say, "I want to sue you for your mirror because my client couldn't see themselves or whatever." So anyway,
here's the thing: what it does state also is if you have a mirror, it has to be at height. So guess what? We don't have mirrors.
Well, there you go.
Plus, then I don't have to worry about getting glass busted and having it all over.
No vanity with you guys, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure the CLA. If the CLA doesn't, they should have white paper or some information on ADA compliance as well. So that's always a great resource for a lot of these things.
Exactly, Paul. And there is a white paper on ADA, but it changes. So it's probably always best to go to that site. It's ada.gov and you get the latest guidance on that.